These book series have intrigued me for a while, and I feel like I need to talk to someone about them because maybe you know about them and you can also recommend them so that I will get faster to my TBR list. So today we are going to talk about the books that I immediately want to dive into them, but along the way I'm still having some series to finish, especially Zodiac Academy, so maybe you can convince me to read them ASAP. Let's begin. Of course, we are having the famous YA with fantasy elements book series that is called Mortal Instruments, and kind of like the main, I would say, series in the Shadowhunters universe because it's also a prequel, like a trilogy prequel, and two other trilogies after that, so that's a lot of books. But I read City of Bones, I also read City of Ashes, and I remained at the City of Glass, but I read them in my mother tongue. And I was like, okay, this is not making any sense because I felt like the essence was like really dripping to the words and through the pages. And I felt like I would give it a shot another time when my English would be better enough to kind of understand what the hell am I reading in English, right? And I read City of Bones. I'm currently at City of Ashes. I wanted to see the Shadowhunters TV series because I knew first time when I saw a few episodes of it and I never completed it, I just left it like that. I knew that the consequences and everything that was happening in the TV series wasn't eventually the same with the books, which was kind of bugging me. And without spoiling myself or something, although I knew pretty much what happened in the City of Bones, but also because I was watching and reading at the same time with my boyfriend, I was like, okay, for you, let's just be fun and something, even though I like spoilers and I don't mind them, and usually I'm asking my friends for them because they make me curious, okay? I just want to know my priorities and that what is my top priority and my lowest priority in terms of books. So I need to ask about what is happening and the juice and everything, the tea. But actually, I just know I couldn't really rewatch it because I was like also going through the book and I kind of wanted to make myself an image of the characters that they were talking about. So yeah, probably I just wouldn't butcher them with the TV series version, even though I know that the actors were amazing. Well, except Clary's acting. But anyways, we're just going to go to the book series and I will stop getting sidetracked by so many things. But I feel like the books, oh my god, it was so good to be back and it was so good to finally read something in third person because I've been reading for quite some time things in the first person. It was like something is missing, right? And it's kind of like fun to switch sometimes from the multiple POVs or the first person POVs to the third person ones. But I felt like it was a lot. There were a lot of sentences with her name, with Clary's name, with Jace's name, with like all the names in every sentence, and I was like, oh my god, that's so weird. Why do you have to call them every time? But of course, it's third person, so yeah. But overall, I just had fun. I want to go into it, but I know that when I'm going into it, I will need to finish the series and then get into the next trilogies. And right now, I'm trying to finish Zodiac Academy, and like I'm at book 8 and I'm having 2 novellas left, 8.5 and 8.6, and book 9, which is huge. And I'm currently at like 60-70% something of like book 8, Sora and Starlight and Zodiac Academy. Oh my god, and it's a roller coaster, but I love it because it's with word preparation. Amazing. Also, I've been talking a lot about it, so let me know down in the comments below if you want me to do a video full of Zodiac Academy because in every video I almost recommended it, or in some videos I also recommended it, but I feel like it deserves a video. So once I'm getting done and wrapping everything up, let me know if you want a spoiler-free version of the video. And also, since you're here, if you feel like you liked what I told you about, or at least what I'm going to tell you for the next things, maybe you would consider subscribing for more bookish videos. But yeah, back to Mortal Instruments. Oh my god. Each book, I know it's with a city, and also, did I tell you that I know that it has the Manhattan and Brooklyn setting in the first book? I'm like so curious which one is the City of Ashes, and like I really love this parallel with reality but then turned into a mythical realm with full of magic. People like walking down the street and like, there are humans without any powers, but you're having powers and you're walking among them. I'm like, oh my god, it's amazing. But it like really excites me. Besides the fact that it's full of runes, magic, the magic system is like really nice. I feel like it has really roots from some of the fantasies that I'm loving and some of the fantasy series that I always adored with like runes and magic and mythical creatures and everything. So but yeah, I'm excited to continue, but without further ado, let's go into the second book series that I'm excited to try for the first time and I haven't read before, The Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. Also, we are just doing a break because I forgot to put my Halloween lights for some reason. Okay. Now I'm ready. Why is it doing like this? Oh no, it died. Oh, okay, it's fine. It's living. Not anymore. The Greenbone Saga. It's a sci-fi, urban or high fantasy with magic and crime. You couldn't describe my taste better because every word that I said here is just even better. And even with the sprinkle of sci-fi, I just love it. Oh my god, it died completely. Anyways. It just died of excitement. Oh no, the excitement is back, it's flickering. So, and it also gets described as a Godfather-esque saga with intergenerational blood feuds, vicious politics, magic, and kung fu. I was like, this sounds amazing. There are so many stuff that I like. And usually I'm not nitpicking about the books and I'm kind of reading everything in terms of like fantasy, romantasy, every derivation of it. But when I'm seeing blood feuds with magic and crime, and I haven't watched Godfather, you can cancel me right now, but yeah, I'm just going to watch it eventually. I'm just having plans for the studio shutdown and the holidays in December to watch more classics. And vicious politics. I'm not really a big of a fan of politics and something, but when you're giving me a book with like politics and war politics and laws and something and contracts and peace treaties, I'm like, oh my god, where have I been and why haven't I read this? And also, did I mention that it's a trilogy and not Mortal Instruments with Dark Artifices, with also The Last Hours, second mentioned ones being trilogies, and The Infernal Devices, which is like the past trilogy that I will need to read after reading 9 books of Zodiac Academy, which I guess took me 1 year to complete, which that was insane. And no, I haven't read only Zodiac Academy with like bits and pieces here and there. I've also listened to some amazing audiobooks, and also if you want to check them out, and the Halloween videos one, I'm having the most 5 gripping books that I read and also listened for the Halloween. Those were like in the middle of Zodiac Academy books and everything. Oh my god, but they were amazing. Hands down, they were amazing. And also I found that the family is duty, magic is power, and honor is everything. Also something from the Jade City and related to Jade City. And I was like, okay, people that value their honor like higher than everything. Oh, and almost like the same with everything. I'm immediately sat and signed to read this. Yes. And it's kind of like a universe where jade is the currency, but also jade is the power that people are kind of draining their magic from, and also they are drawn to, I guess, or something like that. I don't know, but I know that everything is with jade and revolves around jade, and like there's a jade planet with jade laws and jade everything and anything. I'm about to like jade more because I usually like sapphire, but... And the third one is actually a duology. This is also really old and it's also having some controversial parts, I would say, when it got turned into a Netflix series, because people say that the Netflix series, which is kind of like also related to the universe, it's kind of better, and then you would need to read this duology. But please, if you're watching the video and you know that I'm talking about Sifs of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo, just please let me know if I should watch the Netflix TV show before I'm reading Sifs of Crows, if the books are good, because the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo, I've seen people that really slander it, that really think that that's the worst trilogy ever written. I don't know why, and said that the TV series is like better. That's the first time in my goddamn life when I'm hearing that the TV series, it's way better than the books, which I was like, okay, maybe it's, I don't know, particular stuff, maybe it's just about a taste, maybe it's about the writing, maybe it's just not as amazing, or the they just picked amazing actors for the TV series. I don't know. I just really don't know. I'm clueless. But when I'm telling you that I want to read the Six of Crows duology because it's with heists. And also, anyone has been ravaging about this Cass guy on the internet, and I'm like, sure, I need to check that out. But what really got me into reading these books and wanting to add them to the TBR was like the heists. And it's one of the few books that I'm seeing and like wanting to read about. They contain heists. And I was like, oh, that's so unusual. Sure, why haven't I heard more about people like stealing from others and making heists in books? That really sounds like Payday. And I was like, if you know the game, yeah. But I was like, that would be cool. That would be a cool book. And I immediately got sucked in. And it's basically the Grishaverse universe with 6 outcasts that they are dangerous. And it's a spine known as the Wraith. And it's a very word specific kind of world. And having a terminology that I love, because I just love, just like, as I told you, with the Shadow Hunters, with the runes and everything, with the Prabatai, I really love how people take stuff out of nowhere and just give it a meaning into their universe, and like having a universe that has a name. And I was like immediately sucked in when I noticed that it has terminology. I was like, yes, please give me all. And yeah, of course, if I forgot to mention, it's a YA fantasy again. I feel like the Greenbone Saga, it's like a high urban fantasy. And I haven't been reading an urban fantasy, I think, before. Or a high fantasy. High fantasy, I think I read like back in the day. I don't really remember like quite an example. But like urban fantasy, I was like, interesting. I might dig into it. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below if you read any of these series, if you really love them, duology, trilogy, and then the series. And just let me know down in the comments below with which one should I start. And I will see you in the next video. And until then, you can catch me on Instagram because I'm posting daily and I'm doing a lot of stuff, and I'm also wanting to connect with you. So until the next video on Thursday, see you there and happy reading. Bye bye.